Hey folks, ET here coming at you with the week ahead, and this week we are covering C for Citibank, COST for Costco, and XOM for ExxonMobil. So we'll go ahead and jump right in. I've got all the data pulled up and the charts ready. So let's go ahead and dig in and see how it's going. All right, so for this is Citibank we're looking at right here. This is C. This is its 5-day MNF. A lot of puts were bought the other day. Not a lot of heavy flow going into it, and it is sitting here with a pretty big bearish 5-day MNF. All right, let's keep scrolling down and see how we see things. I do believe this one is a yep. So our back test is lined up nice here. This is a buy. A short over zero, short greater than zero, so we'll see how that goes. So it still says we're a little bit of a short, which is okay to see. Looking into our price distribution going into tomorrow, pretty even, but I'd say more bearish than anything. We'll just go ahead and click through all of them. Looks like we have some bearish positioning throughout most of the week. Going into Thursday and going into Friday, still kind of even there on Friday, and then let's say our 10-day is still pretty bearish. So going into this week, we do have a little bit of bullish dealer OI, but it's bearish after that. So that's interesting to see. Doesn't necessarily line up with our price distro and our Greeks, but we will see how that plays out as it goes along. Looking at this week's gamma, this week's GEX levels, 50 is its current largest pull. Okay, and then 47.5 is this current biggest repel that we have for this week's expiry filter. So interesting to see. If we go ahead and jump over to its chart, there is a ghost zone all the way up. There's quite a few ghost zones actually looking through. What's interesting to see is 45 is its current 47.5 is its current biggest repel, and it's beneath that. Okay, so 47.5 is its current biggest repel, so it's beneath that. So if I'm shorting this, I am hoping that there's a little bit of a run up and I can get into this ghost zone here on a strong day to get that repel. That is where I know that's pretty far away. It's $1.50 away, but if it has a nice day, that is where I would revisit the data, see if everything's still lined up in short. If not, then maybe a bounce, maybe a repel off of 46.50, and it's got a pretty good sizable ghost zone down. So some 45 puts might not be bad if that sector continues to get weakness. It goes way down with a massive ghost zone all the way to 41. So some swing puts would be nice if the data holds up. The 10-day does look like it has some downside, but let's go ahead and check and see where its price is supported best. Actually supported best a little above where price is at this 48.5, but it's pretty good all the way down, right around 46. Is where it starts to taper off, where price isn't supported. So that's interesting that buyers could be present here. Now remember to check this all the time, which would line up a little bit to that 47.5 reject if it does have a green day. So once again, it's looking all right. It's resting on this gamma level. It did repel a little bit from it, this 46. I'd like to see it go up some before I would short it. But if the data continues, a nice swing short might be in order. Banks have been beaten up pretty good, so I'm leery. I'm leery of shorting them. But my goodness, that big ghost zone down there is pretty enticing to me. All right, next up we will check cost. I've got it pulled up. Not a whole lot of heavy flow going into it. It's 5-day MNF. Is also quite bearish, which is interesting to see. And this is technically, let's go ahead and refresh and make sure that I did the back test correctly. I do believe cost was it's an inverse, so we buy over. So that doesn't necessarily match up with our MNF because we are positive right now, so it's showing a bit of a buy. Its chart is very interesting as well. It's showing bearish position going in the next few weeks, dealer OI wise, and then going into late July, we do have some bullish side. But if we take a look at this, its price distro is bullish for Monday, and it's bullish for Tuesday, bullish for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So that's interesting to see. 10 days, go ahead, we're quite bullish as well. So it doesn't necessarily match this, but interesting to see that our price distros and our dealer Greeks build up do match going into that. Let's check our gamma for the week. Go ahead and grab This week's 500 looks to be a bounce spot, with the biggest pull being 515, which price isn't quite there yet, with some others coming up. Let's go a week out and see if there are some heavier levels. Not a whole lot going on there. Okay, so 525, which is about where price is, going further out. So that's interesting to see. Price is supported a little bit higher up, not as much where it is right now, so this could mean a move upwards, but its chart is what's interesting to me, as it has just been basing quite a bit, and it did reject off this repel level here, this 525, a little bit, and its ghost zones are tiny. But if it breaks out and it follows that price distribution, a nice easy move up to 530 or 540 could happen without even batting an eye. That's as far as we go up, is to 560, but if it decides to break out and instead of break down, these long periods of consolidation tickers I absolutely love to play. So cost is really a long for me. The sector has been a little beat up. I'm already long some target on the dips next week in a nice long swing play, and hopefully it continues to go up a little bit. So cost might be another one in this sector that might look good to me. All right, let's move into ZOM. It's actually got a little bit of buy-in, but out to 2025, so that's interesting to see. Its 5-day MNF isn't strong by any means. Puts are starting to curl up, but calls are above currently. A lot of puts gotten rid of and some calls on Friday, so that's interesting to see. This is where this big line you see here, and then you see these puts sold. So we'll see how that goes with ZOM. This sector, we had a little bit of strife in the Russia front this weekend, which already seems to be somewhat solved. So a lot of people were thinking, oh, hey, I could maybe long oil. So we'll see how ZOM is technically a buy over. I did this beforehand, so it is this position here. Its back test shows that it's a buy over, so it's showing a buy here. Let's take a look at its price distros to see. Monday's looking kind of mixed, a little bit bullish, a little bit bearish. Tuesday's looking a little bit more bearish. Wednesday it seems to be a little stronger. Thursday a little bit more strong, and then Friday a little bit more strong. Oil's been having a rough go as of late too. So what this shows me is Monday and Tuesday potentially dips. It does match up here with our 6:30 expiry in dealer OI. That it is somewhat of a bearish position. But Monday shows me potentially Monday and Tuesday let it dip down, kind of pull a little bit, and then see what happens from there. Its current biggest pull is 100, which matches with short or stay out for me, maybe Monday and Tuesday, and then long into a few weeks out, because 115 is a pretty big pull. Let's go ahead and take a look at its chart real quick. It is in a ghost zone down to 100 if it decides to show weakness. So ideally, it does have some signals for long. Ideally, I would like to see it matriculate itself down to 100 through Monday and Tuesday, which is where I would swing long. Not 115. I would probably go 105s a few weeks out, because there's some chance of repel there. But that's a pretty good zone to look at right there. I would love to see it drop down to this 100 right here and then bounce. But we would need some strength in the sector, but weakness first. And if the plan, I like to plan these things out as I go along. I watch my own videos, folks, when I lay these out. I actually do this live. I don't look at the data really beforehand. I just get it loaded, and then I start to draw out a plan of levels I'm watching. I set alerts on TradingView, which is pretty easy, and I set price alerts for below or above, so that way I can see if my entries are hit, and then I go back through and I revisit the data. So interesting to see there. Price is not supported very well where it is currently, but if you look at this, right around 98, 99, 100 price is supported, which guess what? Is right around our level that we're looking at for hopefully a potential dip. That's pretty interesting. Obviously losing that brings it down even further, so that's pretty risky. There are some massive ghost zones on the way down, so that is crazy. ZOM has a lot of range. A break above 106 definitely gives it some room as well. So that's what I'm watching on ZOM. I'd love that Monday and Tuesday dip. I will recheck price distros Tuesday evening after close to see if this price hits, though I'll probably jump in a little bit. Nothing too huge, but a swing long wouldn't hurt if the sector starts to catch a bid. All right, that is all for now, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed all of this. Hopefully you learned something, and I would always say take your Sunday evening to plan out some trades, look at some charts, get your gamma levels in, see where it's going, check your dark pools if you want, see what the trading platform is showing you, and start to set some price alerts so you don't have to stare at the screen all day long. All right, everybody have a nice day, and go get that Oprah money.